How can we combine the real estate industry and the film industry for the film industry of the future, the real film industry of the future? Welcome to the news. Stay till the end to find out. Stay till the end to find out. Welcome to the news. So, what are we talking about today? Combining the real estate industry and the film industry for the film industry of the future, known as the real film industry. Yeah, so how is this relevant? Because in the future, it's kind of likely, since if you look at the way things have been, that things are going all digital in terms of the film industry, that in essence, once you get down to brass tacks, it seems like the film industry is going all digital, meaning, after all, there could be so much effect that could be done to where fictional stories could be created in a digital fashion, no problemo. So realistically, the real film industry is something that's a little bit being left behind in the long-term sense, after all. So the real film industry, in our respect, revolves around real estate. That's, in essence, the real film industry that we're referring to, in essence, because we're also trying to, in real time, in the real world, connect with real influencers to develop real and unique sort of situations that revolve around a global real estate brokerage at the same time. So we're kind of developing movie sets a little bit in real life, so that ultimately we're trying to salvage the film industry by developing assets that are for sale, real estate assets that are for sale, and developing unique, interesting little sets and characters and characteristics and characterizations and stories and narratives that go on and occur at these weird little interesting places where these real estate locations occur. And we're able to try to develop little packages, but interestingly enough, still develop weird little cheeky, interesting programming like tea parties that are among little circus folks and Teletubby type characters and unique animation type of mindset type of characters to be able to try to sell real estate. And at the same time, we'll try to develop art and artistic items to be able to fill the spaces of certain locations, of apartments, of certain houses, of buildings. Regardless what it is, we're trying to sell the locations themselves. So those are real assets being sold for sale, and ultimately trying to tell a story with those assets, and ultimately fundamentally trying to connect with an audience and certain niche audiences to try to salvage the remainder of the film industry, after all, and try to bring in different assets and different developments of different products into the mix, into the pipeline, into the process, so that unique, different, interesting products are also possible to be developed around these unique locations, similar to the film industry of today, except we're intending to use the real estate assets, the real estate for sale in all of these different locations, to be able to also serve as a purpose that's similar to the blockchain somewhat, which is kind of a joke but kind of not, because in essence there's a transaction that's attached to this real space in these real places, that when every other film in the world is becoming digital only in essence, there's ultimately a transaction that can back up the nature of these unique films that are being created and developed for the purpose and the sake of these films being developed to begin with, which are the sales of real estate on the backside of certain films being developed on the front end. And those are pinging to and relating to real life events, real life encounters happening in real life in this real estate that was filmed to be able to sort of replace the current day film industry that ultimately is going all digital when it comes down to it, because anything can be made digitally now, but we have to physically be present to be able to physically have certain we want real life influencers to be real life influencers that are participating in real life processes and places and stories and narratives that take place inside of real estate that we want to film and develop weird little interesting Teletubby type narratives around, and animation in real life animation type narratives that are just interesting, and whatever they happen to be, we'll have to get to that down the line in essence. But we want to bring back the in real life film industry in the future when it goes away and becomes all digital, by focusing on how to develop these transactions and how to combine it with the blockchain, for example, and develop these real life transactions that ultimately also help to validate that this is the real life film industry and not the fake film industry, because there's real life transactions are documented as transactions to help, in essence, strengthen the essence of this in real life film industry. And so it's just sort of like an homage in the future. It's an homage to the film industry as it was once in the past, which in essence, as it is right now, there still is a film industry that's in real life, and not everything is currently digital, and there still is a real life film industry, but in the future, it seems like that's going away. So our intention to try to keep it around is to try to ping real life films and real life filming based around real estate, keeping the real film industry real to a certain extent, to a certain degree, where we're ultimately trying to sell things, but the story that relates to the locations are meant to be made in real time. And then we'll also try to decorate certain real estate, so that in essence we're making art. We're making art to try to fill in the real estate at the same time, so that this art ultimately contributes to the value. And it's like buying a package deal where you get assets in the form of real estate, but also you get like art that we develop at the same time, and potentially conceivably jewelry manufacturing ultimately as well. And the fundamental foundational most important element, which we're trying to also use for the packaging element of connecting different real assets in real time in the real life film industry, is the essence of philanthropy, and leveraging philanthropy throughout the essence of these filmings of these real estate, real assets, real film industry films, more or less, by trying to tie in the story into philanthropy at all given times. So the characters within given real estate narratives that are made up and dressed up, and influencers, more or less influencers, to try to bring more awareness and more niche audiences to certain unique, interesting narratives that we're trying to bring into the real estate world, that those ultimately lead directly into the philanthropy world if possible, and as soon as possible. And the fundamental specific unique ties are a little bit unique, if you will, at the current time, because we hope to have a brokerage in every single country in the world. Every single country, meaning 192 different brokerages, different angles, different cultures, different ways to try to add value to the globe every single day by combining all of those global connectivities from one country's brokerage to the next, and one unique owner to the next, and one unique culture to the next, so that every single real estate agent in our network, more or less, is like a film producer. In essence, is corresponding to like a film agent, if you will. So brokerages are just little beehives for different little film producers, so that all these little different unique personalities have the ability to bring together this cluster and this collage of different film producers and different film agents across the world. So we start to make the whole world into a giant kaleidoscope of different collages of different art. Basically, in an ideal sense, different art that we manufacture, different ways that we try to reframe real estate to become art, and different ways to try to then leak these stories and lead these stories into philanthropy. So all of these stories ultimately come together on a day-to-day basis around the world and lead into and leak into philanthropy, and lead into and leak into philanthropy results, and philanthropy stories, and philanthropy processes, and philanthropy narratives that ultimately relate to doing good and doing better for communities, individual communities, and doing better for the greater good, the greater global good, the greater global philanthropy energy grid. And then also trying to give value and show value to shelter animals, and showing value to animals, dogs and cats, to be able to try to clear animal shelters across the world and do better for shelter animals and all animals across the world, to be able to try to empower animals, to be able to empower humans by helping animals do what they do best, which is empowering humans by being healers, and hiring the animals, shelter animals and all animals in the world, to be the healers that they're intended to be, being healers for humans, healing for humans, so we have a better world in the future. We heal animals and animals help to heal us, and so we have this vice versa transactional relationship to give dynamically to the energy that is harnessed within animals and shelter animals around the world, to be able to improve their lives and clear the animal shelters and foster shelter animals and adopt shelter animals, and continue to revolve the energy in a positive fashion and recycle and reverberate and grow and enhance the global philanthropy energy across the world, the global philanthropy energy grid and global philanthropy energy generation by our global philanthropy energy brokerage and our film agents and our film real estate, in real life film industry that we're trying to harness and reharness in the future, if it diminishes, so that we can try to ping it and hinge it upon real estate and real life, real assets, and then therefore also develop more interesting, unique, peculiar, strange art pieces and interesting manufactured peculiar assets that are art piece assets that we can stage within and inside to package within real estate assets to be also for sale, to tell the story and tell the tale, to dress the set and try to sell all these assets collectively and cumulatively, to then also transfer some of the monetary assets, some of the monetary reward, and some of the monetary reflection from monetary transactions occurring, and keeping this real life industry similar to the blockchain, responsible and accountable for unique trails of monetary energy flow on the blockchain and off the blockchain, so that it's a public accounting and accountability for doing philanthropy and making philanthropy energy and spending money and investing on philanthropy energy for the globe, and to cumulatively try to develop that trend so that other folks and other strokes of other folks are able to lead by example, by following and leading by example in the philanthropy energy generation space, global philanthropy energy grid, the global philanthropy energy grid, the global philanthropy energy grid, by developing the real estate, real life, in real life film industry for the future. The in real life film industry for the future. The in real life film industry for the future. Yeah. That's all for now. Thanks again. Ding Tech, change for games. Ding Tech, change for game studios. Ding Tech, bye, peace, bye. Thanks, bye.